What's going on, everyone? This is Kevin here, coming at you with TCL 30 XL tips and tricks and hidden features. So stay tuned if you want to learn how to get the most out of your device. Now, the first thing I want to show you is how to remove touch sounds from the phone. Now, if not aware what touch sounds are, let me demonstrate that for you. Essentially, when you press on different buttons, such as the navigation buttons, or if you're going to an app, the phone makes a noise. Now, for some people, they might prefer that, but I know for others, they prefer their phone to be silent and not have this. So to get rid of it, you're going to pull down the notification shade, then go to the gear icon, which will take us over to the settings, then go to search and type in touch, sounds, and then from here, you'll see it right there, suggested. And then from here, you can disable touch sounds, and then now, none of those buttons will make a sound. So if you prefer this, then there you go. You can now switch it over to this mode. So if you prefer this, instead of having your various buttons make noise, then there you go. Now with the TCL 30 XL, we unfortunately do not have a battery percentage in the upper right corner by default. However, you can easily add one, and I'll show you how to do that right now. So you're gonna access this by also going to the settings. So once you go to that gear icon, you're gonna go up to search, and then from here, type in battery, and you'll see right there battery percentage, so go there. And then you can see right now it is set to do not show, so go there. And then we have two other options. So you can either have the battery percentage inside of the battery icon, or you can have it be next to the battery icon. Now this really comes down to personal preference. Either way, you're still gonna be getting a battery percentage, but we'll try inside the battery icon first. So after doing that, you can now see in the upper right corner, we have the percentage within the actual battery icon itself. And then if you want to, you can go over to next to battery icon, and then it's a little bit bigger there, but it's next to the icon. And then with that enabled, we can go anywhere throughout the operating system and it'll always be there. So that's certainly very helpful if you want to know the precise battery percentage that the device has. Now with the TCL 30 XL, there are quite a few animations when navigating around the operating system. For example, if you pull up an app, you'll see that there is an animation here. And same thing if you do other things in the operating system itself. So if you want to speed up the device and get rid of those animations, then I'll show you how to remove them. So what we're going to do is pull down the shade, go to the settings once again, go to search, and then type in remove. And you'll see right there, remove animations. This is under accessibility. So we'll go there. And then now remove the animations. And then now with that enabled, we now have no animations. So you can see right there, I'm pulling up the web browser, I'm leaving it, there's no animations. Also going to the camera app, same thing. So it definitely does speed up the process a little bit when using the phone. So if you don't mind having no animations, then this might be worth giving a try. Now with this device, we have a very large display at 6.82 inches. Now that's great for content consumption, and especially if you want to watch video content. However, for general usability, it's pretty difficult, if not impossible, to reach all portions of the display when using this phone with just one hand. Now thankfully, TCL has come up with a very good solution for this, and it's called OneHanded Mode. Now there is a quick way to get to OneHanded Mode. You can pull down the shade here, and then you can swipe over, and you'll see OneHanded Mode is right there. However, if you first go to OneHanded Mode via the settings, there are a few things that you might want to change to make it even easier to get into this mode. So we're going to go to the settings right now, go to search, type in one-handed, well, there we go already, OneHanded Mode. So go there, it's under advanced features. So you can see here there are two methods to access it. I already showed you the first one, which is the shortcut in the quick settings. But the second method to access OneHanded Mode is via a gesture. So you do have to enable this, access OneHanded Mode using gesture, and then after doing that, all you have to do is just swipe over from the home button. So we'll give this a try right now. And there we go, that was very easy. And then now that we're in OneHanded Mode, we essentially have a mini phone here in the corner. So I can do everything that I would typically do on this device, it's just that it's now shrunken down. And you can see that now that we're in this mode, I can access all portions of the operating system very easily. Now, in addition to that, you can further customize it. So if you want to grab onto the corner here, you can make some adjustments. So even with it a little bit larger here, I can now still reach all portions of the operating system. So the default might be a little bit on the smaller side. It really just depends. But then if you want to, you can switch it over to the other side. We can also bring it back. So definitely very easy there to kind of customize things to exactly how you want to use one-handed mode. Now from here, we can head back to the settings once again. And also to get rid of one-handed mode, you can just touch on the outer edge. So just like that, it now expands things and it's now back to normal. But you can pick some defaults here when accessing one-handed mode. You can see that we have 3 different options, and then there's also the ability to customize it, which I just did a second ago. Now again, if you want to get back to one-handed mode, now that gestures are enabled, you just swipe over, and it's very easy. So I definitely recommend setting this up in this way. Now of course it is nice that you can pull down the shade, and then you can go over to that quick toggle, but I do feel like using the gestures is a bit faster. Now the next thing I want to show you are some pretty cool multitasking features. So let's say you pull up an app and you want this app to be floating. All you have to do is go to your recent apps button, go to that app, and then now tap in the upper right corner. And then very quickly there, you can see we now have the app kind of miniaturized here, and it is on top of the operating system. And if I want to pull up another app as well, you can now see that app is behind the app that I have floating here. And I can move this around to anywhere I want, so that's really convenient. You can also go down to these 3 dots to further adjust it. So if you do want it to kind of fold in and just be a little floating icon, you can do that too. You can also go over to here and rotate, which is kind of cool. So it gives us more of a landscape view of the app that I've pulled up here. And if you want to fully expand things back to normal, go to this button on the left side there, and it brings it all back to how it would be by default. Now, if you're looking for a quick way to do split screen, go back to that same area here to your recent apps, go to this button on the upper left corner, and then now it splits the screen, and then you can choose for the other half of the screen what other app you want to have here. So maybe I want to have a web browser up here, and then the calculator down here. I can easily do that. And then I can also make some adjustments too if I don't want it to be a 50-50 split. Then if I want one of these apps to completely take over, I can just drag this bar either way, and then now we have a full screen view of that app. Now, if you're familiar with TCL as a company, then you probably know that they do have a long history involving displays because they did get their start creating TVs. So essentially, when TCL started taking phones, they took that experience and expertise and used it to create mobile displays. Now, due to that, TCL does give us a lot of customizations. So if you head over to the settings, you can then go to Next Vision here, and we have a lot of options. So some of these are enabled already by default. So for example, image enhancement, video enhancement, game enhancement, but then also we have reading mode. So if you want to switch to that, it now kind of changes the colors of the display to make it a bit easier to read. So this is definitely great if you want to use an ebook app on this device and you want to switch it to this mode. But at the same time, it does give the phone kind of an e-ink looking experience. We also have eye comfort mode here. So I can see this one especially coming in handy towards the end of the day. But when you switch to that, it does filter out blue light, which can be really helpful. And then finally, we do have other controls for the screen color. So if we go here, you can see we have options for vivid, natural, and advanced. So vivid is the default, but we can do natural. And then advanced right here, we have options to do further adjustments, including the warmth, coldness, and then also further customized options as well. So definitely a lot of different ways to change the look of the display to fit the way that you want to use your phone, you want your phone to look. So I definitely recommend trying out some of these different color modes to see if one best suits you. Now, in addition to that, from the settings here, we can go over to display and we have other customizations. So if you want to go to dark mode, you can have that manually be activated, or you can have it be on an automated schedule. We can also then adjust the sleep period too. So by default, I believe it's 30 seconds or a minute. I did switch it over to 30 minutes because I've been making a lot of videos about this device. So essentially, if you want the phone to not turn off very quickly, you can make an adjustment here to extend that time. Or if you want to make it even shorter, you can do 15 seconds. And then there's also options for font size, font style. We also have the status bar and notch. So I already kind of showed you this area for the battery percentage, but you can have your network speed in the upper right corner, which is pretty cool. And if we go to notch, there's even other options here to hide the water drop notch up top. So you can have the top portion of this display blend in. You can also move the status bar if you want to as well. So definitely a lot of different ways to make the phone a little bit more symmetrical too, which is kind of interesting. So anyway, I recommend trying these out, but I prefer just doing the default. I don't see an issue with it. But again, I do appreciate that TCL at least gives us the option to make that customization. Now, if you're looking for a quick way to access the camera app on this device, all you have to do is just double press on the power button. And just like that, it now pulls up the camera app. So that's really easy. You can do that from anywhere throughout the operating system. You can even have the display off on the device, and if you double press on that button, it will still pull up the camera app very quickly. So it's definitely a nice, easy way to get to that. Now, earlier in the video, I showed you how to do split screen, but there is one other way to get to that. So if you swipe up with 3 fingers, it will quickly switch things over to the split screen. And then from here, you can also pick another app that you want to have up here. So that's really simple. So again, yet another way to access split screen with this device. Now, the next thing I'm going to show you is how to take a screenshot with the TCL 30 XL. And there are 2 different methods to do this, and I'll start off with the first one. So all you have to do is hold the volume down and the power button for about a second, and just like that, it takes the screenshot. Then from there, you can scroll, share, or delete. And then the other method to take a screenshot is to swipe down with 3 fingers. So that's very quick. I almost prefer that method instead, so you can see how fast that is. So those are 2 ways to take a screenshot with this device. Now with the TCL 30 XL, we do have the 3-button Android navigation enabled here by default. Now this is kind of the more traditional way to navigate around an Android phone. Over the years, they have kind of pushed gestures as a better or different way to do it, but it appears here that TCL has chosen the 3-button navigation as the default. Now if you do want gesture-based navigation, I'll show you how to do that. So you're going to pull down the shade here, go to the settings, go to search, type in nav, and you'll see right there system navigation, so go there, then go here, and then you'll see several different options. Now, another option here is that if you want to switch around the back and recent apps buttons, you can do that too. So if you prefer to have your back button on the right side and recent apps button on the left side, you can easily make that change. But then also, we have an option for gesture navigation. So we'll go there, and then now with gesture navigation, you'll see the regular bar disappears here and we just have a small line. And if you swipe up from the middle, it takes you home. If you swipe up partially, it takes you to your recent apps. And then if you swipe from the side, it takes you back. Now with a 5,000 milliamp hour internal battery, you should definitely expect to get pretty good battery life with this device. However, I'll show you how to make the battery last even longer. And that's with battery saver mode. Now if you pull down the shade, go to the settings, and then type in battery, then go here to battery, and you'll see right there battery saver. You'll see that we can then enable battery saver, and essentially with that enabled, it'll cut out some background tasks so that the phone will conserve its battery a bit more. And then the phone is set by default when this is enabled to turn off battery saver once it reaches 90% charge once again. So you can either enable this manually if you know you have a long day ahead of you, or if it seems like you're needing this on a consistent basis, you can set a schedule for battery saver. But this concludes tips and tricks and hidden features for the TCL 30 XL. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it to be helpful, but this is Kevin here, and I will see you in the next video. Take care and have a great rest of your day.